Hi, I'm making this video as a sworn testimony regarding the organized stalking and electronic harassment I was subjected to from the fall of 2009 throughout 2010. So, I solemnly and sincerely and truly declare and affirm that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. My name is Marianne Bakken and I'm a Norwegian living in Norway. I worked as a bicycle messenger and as a stagehand, scaffold and climber besides being an activist. Today I'm physically disabled. I'll have to read my witness testimony in order not to forget what I am going to say and not fumble too much with words. In the fall of 2009, at the exact same time I was about to sit down and prepare to start up a new organization, already registered with the aim to work for the Norwegian people's constitutional rights to a healthy environment and future generations' rights to a sustainable nature, I was suddenly subjected to massive organized harassment called organized stalking and gang stalking. I was also subjected to the exact same kind of electronic audible harassment as Dr. John Hall, in his book A New Breed, Satellite Terrorism in America, explained he himself was subjected to. When I was attacked this way in 2009, I had most likely been under surveillance for a long time. Some years prior to this, I experienced repeatedly occurring episodes of what seemed to be attempts of intimidation. At that same time, a friend also had an experience of the exact same kind I at that time had while leaving my apartment one evening. I will make and upload another video where she explained herself what she experienced and where I explain what I was experiencing at that same time, also bound by my witness affirmation in this video. When the organized stalking harassment started in the fall of 2009, it was initiated with some strange occurrences 2 days before I at last should have had the time to sit down and prepare to finally start up that new organization that for different reasons had remained on the shelf for some time. Then, on the exact same day I thought I would be able to finally begin that work, I suddenly had a man walking around in the area I lived, shouting the exact same strange things a member of an outlandish crew I had worked with some days earlier had shouted. And then he started to scream right outside my apartment that he was going to shoot me. This was even later followed up with people pretending being cops suddenly running down the hill I was walking down towards my apartment, passing by me, one on each side, shouting to each other something like, "Where did he go? Did you see where he went?" and talking in a radio. Then they started talking to some people that seemed to be living in the area about a man who had screamed threats in the area and then showed up with a gun. From the day I had that man shouting outside my home, I suddenly got strange comments from strangers while out walking in the area, obviously related to the incident. Strangers started shouting stupid negative things and threats outside my home and driving around in the area making a lot of noise. And people started following me by foot, and for example driving slowly beside me, rolling down the window, telling me I was dead before driving away. And started showing up most places I went to, shouting outside shops. And for example, talking shit from the opposite side of the shelf I was standing at inside the shop. Or for example, when I left the shop, walking in front of me in addition to beside me on the other side of the road and behind me, shouting to each other what I had bought in the shop. Shouting outside the dentist office. Shouting and talking shit at most main stations I went to, in addition to acting out strange stupid street theaters, as for example running back and forth in front of me in stupid carnival costumes while I was waiting for the bus, and then jumping into a car as soon as I went on the bus, driving up beside the bus while pressing the horn repeatedly. Shouting on my way to and from and outside places I worked as a stagehand. Showing up screaming threats from among the public while working as soft security beside the stage, when working loadout before the audience had left, or for example standing in a gang outside the concert hall, shouting they was gonna take me when I finished, that it was my last night and that I would not survive the night, when I happened to be alone with the flights outside the concert hall with a truck without any colleges around. There wasn't any bus going that late, so when I quit I had to walk for about 1 to 2 hours in order to get home. Most girls I know, not everyone though, would be pretty scared by this, and maybe would have started calling the cops, and so after a while would have ended up in a mental institution. I was pissed after all the harassment and name calling, so I just wished the idiots would be stupid enough to actually attack, and by that giving me a legitimate reason to send them to the hospital. I was not trained in martial arts, but after many years as a bicycle messenger and stagehand, I was pretty strong. But not every girl out there are athletes. So for many girls, this would actually have been pretty scary. It was always done in a way so that my local colleges would not notice or understand what was going on. When working on huge productions, individuals part of the outlandish crews we worked with was often involved in the harassment though, through verbally bullying and acting along with the theater, like the one who repeatedly said to me, "He's gonna shoot off your ass, he's gonna burn off your ass," or "He's gonna fry your ass," while passing by me or working beside me. The stalkers, I say stalkers in this way, because they're not always fit the behavior you would attribute to a stalker, like following after you or traveling to the areas you travel to. Participant in an organized harassment campaign would be a better definition, because often the participants in this seem to be people either just hanging around certain main areas, where I assume they harass other targets passing by in that area as well, or people participating while being in the same area for other reasons, as for example being at work. But I refer to both these people and the ones acting like real stalkers as stalkers. So the stalkers showed up here and there around town, while at that time also worked as a bicycle messenger, shouting things after me and saying crazy things to each other according to the theater theme they acted out, saying things directly to me, standing in front of me, looking me in the eyes, or for example acting like the man who at one instant stood at the entrance of a delivery place when I entered, and when I was on my way out said loud on the phone, "She's here now, how many people do you got? 50? Yeah, he's going to kill her now." And no, I was not delusional. These things happened. After a little while I borrowed a dictaphone from a friend, because I knew I could not talk about these things without evidence, because it was so extreme, and not only that, what these people were shouting was so crazy and so totally out of place that nobody would believe me and would think I was crazy, which appeared to be exactly what they want with this form of harassment, in addition to obviously try to fuck up your life and get your attention away from whatever you without this harassment and the problems it causes you would be focusing on. So what you will hear now is a guy from an outlandish crew shouting from the opposite side of the main hall where I was working in Oslo Spectrum, which is the main concert hall downtown Oslo. Some of what he shouts is repeated by someone working close to me, obviously to ensure I pay attention to it. The guy shouting kept on shouting like this for what seemed to be hours. Other members of this man's crew also passed by me where I was working, shouting directly to me, or when I passed by them, saying things like I should be killed, while at the same time staring directly at me. At the time I was subjected to this harassment, I had not even heard of the long-range audible device Eldred, who can beam sound, for example speech, on a distance up to 300 or 500 meters, I think, where just a person or persons standing within the sound beam will hear it. So one time, while standing in the doorway to my bedroom, facing my bedroom with my back to the hallway, and open the bedroom window and the entrance door to my apartment to my right on each side of the wall, and I clearly heard someone whispering something like, "I'm gonna shoot that macho witch, that macho bitch." And it seemed to be coming from underneath my bedroom window. I quickly flung open the door out and expected to see a mentally ill person with a weapon, not really knowing what to do, whether attack or talk, but I had to know what the F was going on and who this crazy guy was. So I was quite shocked when discovering there was no one there outside my bedroom window. Maybe not just actually what they were expecting. I guess I was supposed to believe there was someone out there with a gun. Then I started hearing speech in background noises, like for example what sounded like conversations coming from the humming of the computer, running water, etc. And voices from some guys that seemed to be coming from the direction of the walls to my neighbors' apartments on both sides of my apartment. It did not sound as it would if it really was people behind the wall speaking. And it was the same voices coming from different sides where different people lived, so I knew it wasn't my neighbors. In addition, people started to shout things I was thinking of outside my apartment. And then the talking started with these voices, the ones that seem to be coming from the walls, appearing in the same way you, for example, can hear your own voice inside your head while reading something, or for example thinking of a conversation you had and then hearing before you in your mind's eye what was said. And these voices started responding to my thoughts, so I would define it as synthetic or artificial telepathy. For a while they harassed me verbally this way too, and this kind of harassment was then the last thing I heard each night I went to sleep, and first thing I heard waking up in the morning. After having harassed me for a little while, they started using little children in the harassment too. They had them shout things according to the theater frequently outside my home. They had them running after me, shouting when I went to the bus, and one of the persons who frequently passed by my home, for the most part having a hang-up on shouting "you're dead, you're gonna die" and "stupid," started showing up at places I went to with a bunch of little children shouting. One time they showed up at Oslo's main train station when I went off a train, and the children immediately started running after me, pointing at me and shouting, "See, there she is, now she's going to sell amphetamine." Spreading lies, starting rumors, and smear campaigns is apparently something these people are busy doing. For the record, I have never ever in real life even seen amphetamine, just on TV, and always told people not to use that shit. As I said, the last recording you heard was downtown at work in the middle of Oslo. The little child we're going to hear now is shouting according to the same stupid topic outside my home on the west side of Oslo. Usually they kept a distance when I had the recorder in the window running, so one would not be able to make out exactly what was shouted or said on the recorder later. When I was out of battery or did not record, however, they came close up, shouting death threats and making a lot of noise. How they knew when it was and was not running, I don't know. But apparently they knew when it was recording and when it was not. This time the child apparently did a mistake running too close. I unintended captured the voice of my most active stalker while filming at a climbing area in the woods on the east side of Oslo in relation to some planned climbing training with some fellow activists. But you must have really good speakers and playing it on full volume in order to hear the voice in the following video clip. Even then you will be barely able to hear it, but it is actually possible to make out what he is saying with really good speakers. If you do not have that and is not playing it on full volume, you will not hear anything at this clip I'm now going to show you. So, if you heard the man in this little video clip, you have heard related harassment in the center of, on the west side of, in addition to on the east side of Oslo, in totally different settings and places. Here again, a person seemed to be saying this maiden's gonna die, which, as mentioned, was a little hang-up these people have. I frequently went climbing alone at that place in 2010, and each time I was there the stalkers showed up, except for the days I went climbing with friends and the day it was raining a little bit, just a little bit. The wall wasn't that bad. The harassment campaign followed me to Sweden as well. I was audible harassed with technology while hanging on Vattenfall's main building in Stockholm here to the right with other Greenpeace climbers. In addition by some few people while I was walking in Stockholm.